Hello, I'm Dr. Olson, and this is a video for Math 100. I'm going to be doing examples from section 1.2. If you were in class, you got the handout for section 1.2. Please turn in your binder to take out section 1.2 and get ready to take notes. If you weren't in class, let me show you how you can get the handout. Start at the course homepage for Math 100. Hit Content. And that's going to take you to our content page. Hit Backup Handouts on this left-hand side and come down to section 1.2. And here we have the handout for section 1.2. The assignment is at the bottom, and also you can download this so that you can print it out if need be. I'm going to be doing examples from section 1.2. This starts on page 15 in the book. So we need to navigate over to the book. So we're going to hit Pearson. We're going to hit the yellow button. And we're going to go to the chapter contents on the left-hand side. If I get moving too fast, the nice thing about a video is you can pause and rewind. We're going to go to section 1.2 and we're going to hit e-text. Feel free to pause this video at any time. So here we are looking at the textbook for Math 100, section 1.2. And I do know that the assignment starts on page 15. If you know where the assignment starts, let me show you a little tip. Rather than going forward one page at a time, this button right here is for navigation. And you can type in the page number and hit enter, and it takes you right to page 15. The first example I would like to do is question 6. Let's read the directions. Graph the equation by hand. Y equals negative 3x plus 7. Please write down on your paper, y equals negative 3x plus 7. Okay. We're going to be making a graph, and we're going to need to have a table of values. The table of values, X and Y. And I strongly recommend making 3 points. I'm going to get my graph started over here, and I'm going to label my axes right away. Very important to label the axes. X can be any value here. And then I'm going to calculate y. And I like to start with x equals 0 because plugging in 0 is easy. So this would be the work. You don't have to write this down if you don't want to, but I'll write it down for note-taking purposes. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 7 is 7. And now I think I'll put in the number 1. If I put in the number 1, I have negative 3 times 1, which is negative 3. Plus 7, which equals 4. If we put in 2, I'm going to get negative 6 plus 7, which is 1. And if you're not sure why that's true, pause the video and see if you can do the calculation. Now I'm going to be graphing the points. 0, 7. This is x equals 0. This is the x number line. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 going positive to the right. X equals negative 1, 2, 3, 4 going to the left. And this is the y number line. This is y equals 7. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's up at the point 0, 7. And now I need 1, 4. Here's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I need 2, 1. 2, 1. And now I'm going to get a ruler and draw the line. I'm going to pause this while I get my ruler. Actually, I don't have a ruler, so I'm going to just use a piece of cardstock here. This does go on forever, so put arrowheads on both ends. This is the graph for question 6. Now, what I'd like to do is I would like to extend this and go ahead and find the 2 intercepts. One of our objectives here is finding X-intercepts and Y-intercepts. And this is also on the homework. For example, this little section right down here, we're finding X-intercepts and Y-intercepts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. To find X-intercepts, this is the point on the X-axis where the line crosses. It looks like it's maybe 2 1/3, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, something like that. It's a little bit bigger than 2. All the points on this X-axis are not moving up or down. The Y value is 0. So we're going to use Y equals 0. And I'm going to be substituting that in. So I use my equation, and I'm going to put 0 in for Y. Zero equals -3x plus 7. So I have a little bit of algebra to do. I need to find out what x is. I need to get x by itself. So I'm going to add -7 to both sides, and that gives me -3x equals -7. By the way, when you're solving equations, please go down the paper. Don't go sideways. Now I'm going to divide by -3. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So we have negative divided by negative is positive, which is 7/3. And this is the same as 2 2/3. I'm sorry, 2 1/3. And you can put that into a calculator and use a decimal if you want to. This is going to be 2.333. Now, it's important when finding the X-intercept that we give an ordered pair. The X-intercept is the ordered pair 2 1/3, 0. Make sure that you have an ordered pair, and when you're on My Math Lab, please give them what they're asking for. If they want an ordered pair, give an ordered pair. If they want just the X value, get the X value. And that looks like my graph is very good here. It's a little bit more than 2. So I'll go ahead and put the dot there, and I could even put it in my table here, 2 1/3, 0. Now let's find the Y-intercept. Find Y-intercept. Well, all the points on the Y-axis are not moving to the left or to the right. X is 0. So we're going to use X equals 0. And actually, we've already done that. We did it right here. X equals 0 was right here, and we got 7. So the Y-intercept is 0, 7. And that point is already grabbed. This completes number 6. The next example I would like to do is number 20. So let's write down what number 20 is. Our equation is 30x plus 6y minus 12 equals 0. I need to have a table of ordered pairs again, and I highly recommend 3 points. This way, you have a checkpoint. And I'm going to go ahead and do my intercepts right away. So I'm going to substitute in x equals 0, and that's going to require a little bit more algebra. So when I put in 0 for x, this term becomes 0. Because 30 times 0 is 0. And I'm going to add 12 to both sides. 6y equals 12. If you can be one step ahead of the professor, I recommend that. So we get y equals 2. That was when x was 0. So that gives me the ordered pair 0, 2. By the way, this is the Y-intercept. Let's go ahead and do the X-intercept. To find the X-intercept, we use y equals 0. So now I'm going to put 0 into the Y position. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. 30x equals 12. Once again, if I get to moving too fast, please pause the video. I'd rather make short videos that you can pause than to draw this out. I'm going to divide by 30. And here we're going to have to simplify a fraction. We ask ourselves, what divides evenly into top and bottom? 6 divides evenly into top and bottom. So I'm going to divide the top and bottom by 6, and I get 2/5, which is 0.4 if you prefer a decimal. So we have the ordered pair 0.4, 0. And now I just need one more ordered pair that would be convenient. I can kind of pick any value I want. I think I'll try x equals 1. So substituting 1 in for x, I have 30 times 1, which is 30, plus 6y minus 12 equals 0. These two terms are on the same side of the equals sign. I need to add like terms. 30 minus 12 is 18. Subtract 18 from both sides. 6y equals negative 18. Divide by 6. And I get y equals negative 3. Make sure that you put negative 3 into the y position. So up here in our table, we have negative 3. And now I'm going to graph these points. Point 4 is going to be less than 1. It's going to be right about there. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. And I have 1 common negative 3. And now I'm going to draw my line in. And we have our line. The next thing I'd like to do is talk about graphing horizontal and vertical lines. So the next example I would like to do is graph y equals 3. Well, this is a little bit confusing when you first look at it because there's hardly any information. There's no x in here. So what you need to do is take this literally. It means that y is 3. So in our ordered pairs here, y has to be 3. And since x is not specified, x could be anything. So maybe x could be 0, x could be 1, x could be 5, x could be anything we want. So if we graph these points, make sure to label your axes. The up-down motion is y, the left-right motion is x. So here's 0, 3. Here's 1, 3. Here's 5, 3. And all these are on a horizontal line. The graph is up here. By the way, for my axes, I use 1 arrowhead in the positive direction, but for the line itself, you need 2 arrowheads if it goes on forever. Y equals 3 is a horizontal line. Now, let's do the other case, x equals 1. Let's say we're graphing, maybe x equals negative 2. And we're going to take this literally. X must be negative 2. Make sure that you always put x first. Make sure that you always put x on the horizontal axis. So we're going to have maybe 1, 2, 3 here. The point is that we're moving to the left 2. X is negative 2. And we get a vertical line. The final two examples I would like to do today are 87 and 90. This is on page 16. We're going to do number 87. The directions here say that we're going to be using figure 42, which is this figure down here. Make sure that you use the correct figure. 87 says estimate y when x equals -7. So we know that x equals -7, but we're finding y. We know that x equals -7, we're finding y. Let's take a look at the graph. Okay, so x is the left-right movement, and x is -7, so I'm coming to the left 7. -1, -2, -7 is right here. And I'm going to come down to the line, and I'm going to get the graph. Let me see if I can get a little marker here so I can show this. Struggling with my computer here a second. Give me a second. Okay, -7 is right here. And I come down to this point on the graph. And we want to find the y value. The y value is the up-downness. So here's -1, -2, -3. This is partway between -2 and -3, about -2.5. And we are asked to estimate. So our answer is -2.5. Now, the last example I'd like to do is number 90. On number 90, we're given the y value, and we're supposed to find x. Y equals 5, find x. So we're up here at y equals 5. You might draw a dotted line over here to get to the point. And we're supposed to find the x value there. So we come down to the x-axis, and the answer is 8. X equals 8. These are the examples that I wanted to do in section 1.2. You should start on the homework for section 1.2, and we will be taking a little bit of class time to give some hints and suggestions on. There is a second video that goes along with this one. It is quite a bit shorter. I'll see you on the other video. Have a great day.